Welcome to Tea Time, One Plus TV Africa, as we analyze the biggest entertainment stories and, of course, have lifestyle conversations. My name is Elsie Godwin, and I have my interesting co-anchors with me, Ife Omai and Ife Olua Oshunkeye.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How you guys doing? Good morning.
Oh God.
How you doing?
Ife, you just finally formed my hand. I don't even know what to say to you anymore.
What's going on?
Are you okay?
Very.
Did you have a good weekend?
Lovely, restful weekend, I must say, because I know the week would be a little bit more stressful than the past weeks. So I tried to get enough rest because I know we're going to be back to the hustle and bustle of Lagos City, the traffic, the.
Did you experience traffic coming?
No, not traffic, but I could tell that people are beginning to come out.
You were feeling that they will soon come.
Yes. No, I saw a few cars, but it wasn't
Okay.
up to the traffic level, but it was more than what usually we're probably like 3 on the road on a normal day, but now
Really?
now I saw like 20
Okay.
cars behind me.
I never experienced 3 on the road, though,
Nah.
but it's
But I'm
okay.
seeing that buses are actually keeping social distancing.
They
Like,
have
all
to.
All the buses I'm seeing are like very scanty. It was quite
Oh,
strange.
really?
Yeah, yellow buses.
Maybe
are not
I don't know
BRT buses.
where did you see that?
I don't know the name of the bus.
But is it the island?
Lagos.
Not the island, mainland.
But the
yeah.
island, you know, the buses are so small and they're not really practicing.
Yeah, so
social
I think they're
distancing.
doing 2 as well. 2.
Each.
2 on one seat. That's not social distancing. You
If
should separate me from the other person.
Napep can do 2, then that's not
No,
possible.
do you know the 2 they are doing like 2, so the third person, but they're not spacing out each other like.
We have to appoint Ife as head of NURTW for the time being.
For Etios, our local government.
Okay, let's get right into entertainment. Nigerian Afropop star David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido, has announced plans to release a new album in July titled A Better Time. He also announced that he would be having a collaboration with Nicki Minaj. The now much anticipated collaboration will be produced by Spiroach and as announced by Davido via his official Twitter handle.
Big shout out to David though. A good time. I've listened to the album, but I'm not done. So let's just hope
Why
a
aren't
better
you done?
time.
I
What?
don't know.
Cause okay, I had high expectations for the album, and it was a good album, but it didn't like the hype around it. Some people are swelling already.
I'm swelling, no, because I don't understand how
The
a good time was not a good album. What expectation
don't get
did
me
you have?
wrong. I'm not saying
For
it's not
if
a
someone
good,
like
no,
Wizkid
no.
is your
Don't take
model
me-
and you listen
don't,
to Joro,
don't take me out of context.
what happened to a good
I'm
time?
telling you that the expectation was a bit too high, and I think that's what happens generally when you have high expectations for a movie. It ends up not meeting your expectation. When you have high expectation for
Some of them meet my
yes, some of them but in most cases
If I
you
just
know
want
they
to
don't
finish
meet
the
up.
album, enjoy and have a good time in your
I won't
life.
say I've listened to all the songs, but
Oh,
I
wow.
won't.
He just said he has not
No,
finished.
I've
and now
not
you listen to all
finished
the
it in the
songs.
sense that when someone like me
not
finishes an
digested.
album, thank you very much. You digest and ingest and excrete it out. You understand? You
Wallah,
excrete
wow.
it by writing about it. I haven't found the need to write about this album.
Which album have you written about?
Oh, so much. I haven't just put it out. It's on my personal blog.
Okay, I think this morning is pure cruise, but if
I'm happy that they're doing
It's
this.
your cruise.
Oh my goodness. That last one. I'm happy that they're doing this. It's amazing. I love Nicki Minaj. I wonder why, like, as of recent, I'm talking from DG, so this is not a pattern yet, but I just want to be forward a bit. But no one else is, like, hyping his features. Like, I've looked at all the people that he's working with, and they're not hyping his features. Like, even DNG, people that were on it, Summer Walker, I'm like, first of all, Summer Walker is not even that big.
And she didn't
even
promote.
Yeah.
But Chris Brown did.
That's what I'm saying.
That's Chris Brown,
From
come on,
D
man,
and
blow
G.
my
That's what,
mind.
I'm not. I don't know. I was just expecting that.
Like,
You know, these people. Like, I went to Nicki's page as well. Same thing. Even the producers. Like, it's like they're
Spiroach.
the Nigerian ones. Kidominat. That one
Kidominant,
did that.
yeah.
But like,
obviously.
I don't know. Maybe when it. I don't know. I just smell some type of like.
But guess what? Somebody came out and said if it was a Wizkid collaboration with a Nicki Minaj, you see Nicki Minaj posting this and all of
This
that.
song
beg
is
you.
not
hold
out
on.
yet, so that
Hold
theory
on.
cannot hold.
That theory
Did you
is
see what I
right
saw?
now.
You saw what I
Yes,
saw,
the
right?
FC people,
and
and
then he
Davido
was like,
responded.
Davido responded, like, I love Wiz, but
I even
Wizkid
saw a tweet they had to dig out where what's the name? Wizkid was also hyping his collaboration with Thames. So I think it's about the vibe you feel in the studio and what you think about the song for yourself. So this is Davido just putting out his work to say this is happening. So I don't want to believe that the song will drop and Nicki Minaj will not post a thing. If that happens, well, nobody's going to beat her. It depends on what they
Well, I
signed
was
or what
hoping
the
he
agreement
dropped-
is.
he-
But
he
I can't
dropped,
wait for it to drop.
the song with Cardi B before this one with Nicki Minaj.
I don't think that song is ever going to drop.
Yeah,
you remember
because
the
I
way
think, yeah, they had
Cardi B
management
reacted where she
issues
said there's management issues. She loves the song, but she doesn't know what's going to happen. So I don't think
our management
yeah.
wants her to drop that song.
Why
but
not?
No,
We
we
have
don't
no
know.
idea. That's an internal stuff. But at the end of the day, I think I would love to get that one dropped as well. You
Yeah,
get
we
to
had a
see
feel
that.
of it when she came to Nigeria and was on
And
the
then I'd
jet.
like
She
to
was
see what
playing
Nicki
it.
Minaj would do on this one.
No, that song would be
A
amazing.
banger.
If you think blow my mind, blow your mind, and hold on. Wait for it.
This will
And
be
shout out
fire.
to Davido. I think is the most aggressive artist that I've seen in our time when it comes to putting out music. When it comes to
Who,
putting
Davido?
in, yeah, when it comes to
Okay.
putting in the work, like he actually puts in the work. His management
He hasn't
is on point.
stopped.
Is very professional about how he goes about it. Is what's it called now? Publishing, is distribution, marketing, everything is on point. He was the one who dropped the song and gave the proceeds on to people suffering from, to the research
Dropped the video
on searching
to,
for the
what song
vaccine.
is that?
DNG.
DNG.
Yeah, okay.
And I think it's just putting in the work and it's doing it the way it's supposed to be done.
I was going to bring in
standard.
yesterday's thing because I literally slept off on Twitter yesterday. But I feel like every time we talk about the video, we didn't need to talk about Wizkid. But it's just on my mind when you said that in regards to the challenge between
Vybz
Wizkid
Kartel
and Vybz Kartel. And it made me, like, somebody tweeted, I even posted it on my Instagram, somebody said that, okay, now we shouldn't disrespect him because they were bangers. But I feel like that even triggered me more because it's so, like, the difference is so huge between his quality of music and how much effort he makes into music. And that's why I remember that because you mentioned Davido, and I think that's somebody that hasn't stopped doing that. Like, I think he has thoughts, he's so focused, like he has thoughts about the quality of music, despite the fact that even if he just like flexes, people would still like buy that and stuff. And you know, his swag has not gone past his talent, and I really appreciate that.
Davido, big ups to you, man.
And
Most
what he's doing now, I think,
consistent
is a very good business move because right now, I hope we'll get to talk about this at length, but I think the entertainers are one of those that will be hit hard this period because no matter how you are easy your lockdown or getting to partial lockdown, there is no gathering
what I'm saying
of more than
about-
20. So you can't have an event where they get to get their millions once and move. You can't have those gatherings where, you know, in a week they tell you, oh, I performed in like 4 shows and they're bagging 30 million in a weekend. That's not going to happen anymore. I think the only or almost only source of income they would have now is streaming. So it's a nice move now to drop your stuffs online to make sure people are listening to. So I think this is about making money as well.
And this is why
that's a
I'll
good
keep
one.
saying that is one of the smartest artists that would ever come out of Nigeria, or his management, or whoever is thinking, whoever is putting on the thinking cap is wearing it right. And because right now, you know that there's no way to make money, like you rightly said, from shows and all that. So if you drop an album, everybody wants to stream and listen to something new. And I'm sure this guy has body of work he hasn't put out yet. So why not put them together instead of sitting at home and complaining?
All right, so let's move on to the next story. We've drilled on Davido enough. Who is lying to the president? And this is a question being asked by Hilda Dokubo as President Buhari on President Buhari's ease of lockdown amid coronavirus surge. In a 4-minute video she shared on Instagram, she insinuates that the president is not aware of the situation in the country. One of the things she mentioned was that Buhari made a decision based on lies. I don't know who she thinks is feeding him lies. She also touched on the testing capacity. She said before the lockdown, lockdown, there was a commitment to 2,500 daily, and that was not achieved.
1,500.
So 1,500. So now
now
they
they
are
want to
hoping
do
to get to 2,500. That if that was not done
How did
when
we get this
we
done?
didn't have traffic, how is that going to happen now? So she also talked about reaching agreement with the that the agreement is something that they're doing that enriches their pockets. I don't know whose pocket is being enriched now,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
she also that's true. So
You
she also
agree?
talked about about palliatives. No, I'm just giving the point,
Okay.
so we can pick it from there. She talked about palliatives and that research is not going on. She also mentioned the fact, which is the one that affects me more, is that fumigation wasn't done, and it's just a case of, you know what, the ball is in your court.
Okay, in terms of enriching your pockets, it's very clear that we live in a capitalist country, or should I say capitalist states, because...
Or world?
Yeah, or world. No, I won't say world, because
Not everyone
some
lives in
country,
capitalists.
Yeah, because some countries are still going with the whole
Communist.
lockdown thing and all of that. But I think this is a capitalist state in the sense that it's the people with businesses that call the shots, because someone's business is running down. We cannot afford for this person's business to run down well, and they are the ones who actually rule us, because they're the ones that put money down for
But you don't think that this is also
election.
like a two-sided coin thing? I just want to interrupt so that we can both have a chance to talk. Don't you think it's also like two-sided? Because apart from the big people making money, this is also because we have a community that, realistically speaking, capitalist communities, whatever, is that the government cannot provide for them and they have to provide for themselves.
Yes, so which was also attended to in her speech as well, when she said that the people that were given what's it called now, a budget for palliatives did not get to the people they're supposed to get to, and instead they were keeping the money for themselves. So it shows that, look, it's not like...
But that's a huge accusation without proof, though.
What?
That's a huge accusation
I said
without
she
proof.
said. I'm not... I said
I'm also
she
saying,
said.
it doesn't change what I've said
I
anyway.
said it was pointed out in
If
her
anyone-
speech. I didn't say.
It's okay now.
It's okay.
And even if I say...
What if I say?
And even if I say it is not beyond me to say, in the sense that the UN said they gave about 20 billion naira for the poor. I don't know anyone.
Fred really holding on to this money,
Yes.
like, no jokes.
Yes. And I don't know anyone that's come out to say, oh, I got credited 5,000 naira in my account. And I hate it when people tell me we don't have.
There's actually a few
Stop
people that
saying-
got. There's actually a few people that got credit alerts.
Really?
Yeah.
In the north.
No, in Nigeria. My mom was telling me about, but these were like people above the age of 60. I don't know where that source is coming from. I don't know if it's your UN 20 million now or 20 billion, whatever.
Then
But
I
the
think we should have
gotten
people
that.
like this come out to talk about it, or let's
They
look
do.
at
You
them.
just, it's a huge country. Like, it's very big. That's something that we also need to understand. That just because the information doesn't travel to you doesn't mean it doesn't exist. That's one of the issues we have with coronavirus. That none of my friends or someone I know has it, so it doesn't exist. There's like, it's a huge place. So in regards to
Hilda Dokubo.
Hilda, I agree, I understand where she's coming from, and I think she has prioritized life over living, and she has every right to do that. And the government hasn't. And I, in a way, I have to say that they have a right to do that as well, to be honest, to me. Both of them, to me, are just as important as far as I'm concerned, because I've watched people suffer, and the government knows that they cannot help them, whether it's because of corruption, whatever. But we're not going to be talking about corruption now. We're going to talk about how people are going to survive. So for me, it's two-sided, and I understand everything that she's saying, and I agree that it's freaking dangerous, but I also understand everything that the government is doing.
And then
to me.
secondly, if you look around, like when I was coming to work this morning, last week I saw people sitting on the street waiting for food banks and all of that to come through so that they can feed. But this morning, they were nowhere to be found. People are back to grinding and hustling for themselves. So I think like it's a two-way street actually.
Yeah,
because I had this conversation with a few people this weekend, and some people were telling me that, look, some of us will lose our jobs if we don't go to work this week.
People have already lost their jobs anyway, so I think this is something that needed to be done. It's not even a time to bash Buhari or whatever. And asking who is lying to Buhari, please, nobody's lying to Buhari. If you sitting here can have the information you have, then Buhari as well can pick up his phone or put on the television to know what is going on. You know, so I don't think anybody is lying to him in the term of lying to him. I think this is a situation he had to, a decision he had to take. And this is one of the times when they tell you being a leader is not easy, because you have to look at both the poor, the rich, the okay people, you know, and the truth is most of the people that are coming out now to say, oh, this should have continued, that those who can actually feed and take care of themselves, or at least even if this goes down for, it's coming from a selfish place as well. So we need to look at the situation and go and understand that Nigeria does not have the kind of money that America has to give the kind of palliative that people would need right now. So this is a case of everybody, the ball is now in our court, and I want to commend organizations, private organizations, people in managerial positions for the decisions they've taken, because I've heard a lot of companies say, you know what, just still stay at home, work from home, we're going to stay on lockdown till June. And I think that's the best thing anyone can do now. This is not the time for any boss to be selfish and think, if I don't see this person, the person is not working. Think of your life as well. The ball is in your court, and make the best decision for everybody, including yourself and your family.
And I also think that
we need to go on a break.
Okay,
though.
cool.
Yeah, so after the break, we'll have more story to discuss. Welcome to Tea Time, where we bring you the biggest entertainment stories and, of course, analyze them for you.
You can have both parents and still end up as a useless child. I see them every day.
Most times I worry more about where I'm coming from and where I am now. And that determines my next step.
Why are you sounding like
Alibaba
now?
I'm feeling good, no time to dull, everybody feeling alright.
I can still make music and people are still buying. Sometimes I look myself minimal IU.
Akpala music is for mature-minded people. I got DMs sometimes from Malawi, like,
Sleeping early. Welcome back. This is still Tea Time on Plus TV Africa. Ace video director Clarence Peters has been detained and is being questioned by the police over the death of video vixen Kodak. Multiple reports say the spokesperson of the Lagos State Police Command, Bala Elkanah, confirmed that Peters is still in police custody and is being questioned along a few others. Bala Elkanah said, and I quote, "It is a full investigation. We're probably looking at murder. We're not concluding at this stage. If she died of electrocution, according to reports, it is left for us to find out. Was she actually electrocuted? What went wrong? An autopsy will also show."
As they should. As they should. I have no objection about this. I think the case should be investigated like any other death. It's not because it's Clarence Peters. It's not because it's picture Kodak. I believe if it's just any ordinary person on the street that dies in another person's house, it's just the right thing to be done, because we're looking at homicide here. So I think that's the best thing to do.
I just want to find out if they had witnesses, because I have a friend that knows this person. Well, I have a friend that knows this person.
Kodak or Clarence?
Kodak.
Okay.
The friend of a friend that knows Kodak. And she uploaded it on her WhatsApp story, his text messages and stuff. And it was very clear, like, what happened. And he was saying that anyone who's worked any dancer...
I like when you do that.
Any dancer, anyone who's been to his house, he's always warned that place is not for personal, what's it called, charging. I don't know if you've seen the story. That it's actually quite massive, and they use it to do big things, like charge big things.
Okay.
And that he used to, that you can ask other models that you get their phones from them. Like, guys, no phones in this particular room or whatever. And that they said she came out, she was wet, she was sweating. I don't know if she had gone to maybe to jog or dance or whatever.
Dance, yeah.
She was dancing, and then she had a phone that also had one. I told you all these Android people. She had this phone that had one metal something on it, and then she sat there like this is the person that was writing everything, and this was like ages ago, before he was even arrested. So it's not like as if he's trying to like collaborate or something. And that she charged the phone, and then after a while they just had like a spark or whatever. All this while Clarence was upstairs, and that they came, and then they saw that her chest was her chest and everything, and then tried to she said he picked it up, and the thing even shocked him. And then he threw the phone away, and then the other person kicked the extension cable and everything. So like, this has nothing. Maybe they can be charged for negligence, or that maybe that type of appliance not supposed to be indoors and have people in there type of like relation to Clarence Peter, but that he killed
well, if like you just told the side of the story, if this is what happened, the autopsy will show that.
It would show it.
I mean,
So
this is going to end in no time.
I just think the investigation is normal. It's not. I don't want people to say, oh, it's because people are beginning to say, oh, because
no, but
it's
if you can't
Clarence.
downplay that. And that's actually, I wanted to disagree that not everyone needs an autopsy. It's actually impossible to have that. Like, somebody dies. There's some things that the problem is that electrocution is actually one of those types of, according to what I searched, is one of those type of things that shouldn't be able to kill someone instantly. So it's because of the nature of the disease. Just because you die in somebody's house doesn't mean that you need an autopsy. Like sometimes it's just really clear what's happened. And he has power as well. So you have to consider that like, there's already motive in quote unquote if he was actually like trying to murder someone. He has the power and everything. So this case is actually very different, and that's why there needs to be an autopsy.
Okay, so let's just keep following the story and see how it goes. But rest in peace, Kodak. Moving on to the next story. What's the point in dating someone if you don't see a future with them? Call me old-fashioned, but I don't think anyone deserves to have their time wasted except it's mutual. Sha? And this is coming from Nigerian singer Johnny Drill.
I mean, he said what he said.
Period.
Period. But I love that he put except it's mutual. Sha. I love that because then there's nothing for me to criticize about this. You have to be like super obsessed with the institution of marriage to believe in this because not everyone is driven by marriage, first of all. Secondly, even if you are driven by marriage, I don't think it's good to start a relationship with marriage in mind. I think it's just a little bit too obsessive because you don't know what the relationship can transcend into. I think it's a healthier space.
Dating is a time for you to get to know each other to even decide if marriage can happen.
Exactly. And just because you're good at dating doesn't mean that you're good at being husband and wife. So
true. I hear a lot of relationships have broken this period because they had to quarantine together and it did not end well.
Yeah. So because then if you have this and then you're saying that young people shouldn't date, you're saying that people who don't want to marry shouldn't date, and that's where I have a problem with. So I understand where he's coming from, that any relationship you want to go into, there has to be clear communication. If you're someone that wants to marry at the 24th of April in 2 years, like if you're very specific, you need to let that
which is why I think age comes into play here as well. So you get to a certain stage and you know that, what I want now is marriage. I don't want to go and have dinner with just anybody and move on to the next. You already have like a defined time you want to do certain things. So maybe that is where you now need to. But at the same time, if you put that at the back of your mind when talking to people, that can breed this desperation or making you push people to become who they are not even ready to become. So it's a thin line, but I think dating is important for single people.
If you ask me, I'll just say leave people to define your relationships, whichever way they want it, whether they want it to lead to marriage or they just want to be friends with benefits, whatever.
But be clear in it though.
Just make sure, just let them decide exactly what they want.
Mutual is like the perfect
and let there be communication in whatever relationship you're getting into. So don't lead this person on thinking, okay, there's going to be a marriage and you clearly know that I'm not going to marry this person. So I think there has to be clear
Talk to your brothers about that.
I like that you said talk to your brothers about that as well, because I feel like this is probably my personal opinion now, no statistics anywhere, but I think that men have problems when it comes to communication. So they see someone, they like the person, like you said, what do you call it? Something come appearance or something. Can you remember the word?
Post clearance.
And at that point, maybe after that, you realize that, okay, I don't want to do life with this person. Maybe it would be nice to have a conversation to say, okay, this and that and that, and say, or maybe it's not just post-com or whatever. Maybe something has happened, the way the person snores, the way the person handles finances, the way the person, and you don't have the capacity to work on this particular issue with the person, then I think it would be nice to communicate to say, you know what, I thought this was going to lead to marriage, but this.
And sometimes it's hard to have that type of confrontation.
It is.
Because that has happened to me before, and it was nothing about the man. It was when I met his family, and I was just like, nah. It's not going to work because
there
he was
so
the only
many
child.
Reasons,
They were very cultural. There's a lot of expectations from me that I knew I was going to willingly want to fail. So I was just like, this is not going to work long term. I didn't say that to him ever. Maybe if he's watching now, he'll try and catch his cues. I just said, it's not you, it's me, and I just found a way to shout.
I hate that line, it's me.
Myself.
It can never go away from it saves lives. But have the conversation. Don't just leave people hanging and then they start thinking, what is wrong with me? It's just not cool.
There's nothing, it's not you, it's me.
Okay. It's always if whatever happens to your relationship, it's tea time.
No, not to that into my relationship.
Okay, please. That's our wrap up this episode of Tea Time. Thank you for watching, and do join the conversation on social media with the hashtag Tea Time or tweet at us at Plus TV Africa. Also send your opinions to us via WhatsApp to 09060005719. You can also watch Tea Time on R2 TV and in London on Ben Television. My thank you, as always, go to my amazing co-anchors Ife Omai and Ife Oluwaseun and the entire production team. Thank you for watching Plus TV Africa's Tea Time. My name is Elsie Godwin. Please stay safe.